Okay, Christine, glad to have you here today. I see this information that you've given me about why you love Nike so much and the brand and how you've been playing sports your whole life. So what is something, I guess, that you want to do for our company?
So my emphasis that I have graduated in is visual communications. As I went into my courses, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but as I was in my classes, I was really drawn towards the graphic design, the vector graphics type of thing. In the little thing that I wrote up, I was able to create different things, t-shirts, icon sets, different things to be able to, I guess, put my brand out there and see what I can create.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a really good experience. So how would you say like your design or the things that you've created in school and stuff are different from just what is out there today? Or
I feel like each of us, well, I know that each of us are unique and different. Each of us are going to have our own ideas and creative thinking. And so I feel like I kind of just go a different take on it. I feel like I'm creative and I can be a dreamer and dream and be able to create things for Nike that will be sellable.
That makes sense. Oh, that's good. We're kind of like the description of the job. I mean, obviously we want someone who has like a new outlook because we always are trying to be modern and like with the newest kind of style. And so we always want someone who has that kind of new modern turn on things and that can be, I guess, sport efficient, things like that. How would you say that if you were to work for this company, how you could bring that different aspect like of modern and sporty but functional like you were telling about in your description?
Can you repeat the question?
No, you're fine, you're fine. Just how you could bring about, I guess, like the more modern, the feel of Nike, like how, I guess, how it says in your description, people who can like dream, create, and things like that and push limits. So I guess what I'm trying to ask is just what kind of take would you want? Like why sporty things and why creating that functional everyday wear?
I feel like I feel like something that I think I could do and that would be beneficial for the company is definitely look at the fashion trends, because obviously fashion trends change throughout the years. And so something that I would be able to do is I would study those things and be able to keep the Nike brand up and current and modern. You know, pay attention to the colors that are being used in the different eras and really study what, you know, this millennium and the different styles that are used and be able to implement that into the design.
That's great. Sorry, that was a confusing question, but you answered it. You answered it really well. Good job. I guess, so from our other interns or designers here and things, what would you feel like would set you apart from everyone else? Like what are your strengths and things that you feel like you can bring to the table?
So I didn't think I wanted to go into communications until, you know, I was a senior. I had tons of credits. I finally decided I needed to pick a major and stick with it. I began to go into these major classes, and I didn't have as much time as some of the other kids that have known that they wanted to do visual communications or graphic design at such a young age. And so with that, I feel like I've been able to catch on really quickly to what graphic design is, and I feel like I could just bring new design features. You know, everything will just be improved as I, you know, get this job.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I feel like that's true, that, you know, the more you practice and the more you learn and things like that, like you'll become better. It's a very competitive field and something that, you know, lots of people want to do. But I guess why does Nike, I guess, hit home for you? Like, why is it personal to you and not just like because it's a multi-million-dollar company or, you know, like doing really well or things? Like, why is it personal in your life?
If you were to go and look in my closet at my shoes, I have a couple pair of Nike shoes. I've owned Nike shoes. You know, I love the Nike brand. I have Nike t-shirts. I have Nike hats. I just have the Nike brand, and it's always been something that's been eye-catching to me. You know, Adidas and all the other brands are great, but Nike is just, it's so concrete and so firm and just very functional.
Yeah.
Not that the other ones aren't, but this brand is just something that I've always loved to buy. I love to buy the Nike
Yeah,
brand.
and like that makes sense because you mentioned like how you like to play sports and things like that. And so I guess from having like a sports background, do you think like you're educated in like what kind of designs and clothes and shoes and things like that that athletes or people that are trying to work out or like that would know what you would feel like you would know what they would want and things
Absolutely.
like that?
I mean, being a female, sometimes men don't believe that females know a lot about sports, but if you were to go around, I mean, if you were to ask me anything about sports, I'd be able to answer a question about it. You know, I know about golf, I know about volleyball, basketball,
Yeah.
of course, soccer. I know a very good information, or a lot of information about the different sports.
Gotcha.
And
So
it's my passion.
yeah, so you'll be able to know what kind of each one, generally at least, would function with or need for their certain thing. Is there a specific like type of clothing, like the shoes or the pants or the jackets or things that you would want to focus on designing? Is there one more than the other that stands out to you that you've seen of our products?
That's a good question, and I've thought about it, and I really like the apparel, but I also really like the shoes and
Yeah.
socks. So that was a question that I had for you guys, is if I were to get this job, am I going to be put on a specific team, I guess,
Yeah.
like the apparel team for t-shirts or shoes?
Yeah.
Or what would be the job? Because that's something that I would
Yeah, I want to know.
Yeah.
Well, going into it, I think it would definitely be like we would want to get you started, not really like slowly, we would definitely want to immerse you in so that you could just learn a lot of things. But I think as you go along, you'll be able to kind of really see what like your niche is, like what you really like are good at and what you like to design more than another. I mean, we have certain teams that are like the designs carry out through like sometimes through the pants to the shirts to the shoes, like socks, whatever. Like they you know, certain designs are on the same kind of things. But I think there are like certain teams and groups that design certain parts of the clothing. So I guess as you just get involved and as you would see how the process works and kind of just find where you're good at designing certain things, because you know, some clothes have like cutouts or things like that, but some shoes are pretty just, you know, always like same kind of shape, and they, you know, and you can design those. So I guess it will be like where you kind of find your passion in it. But yeah, is there any other questions that you have?
Well, if I were to get hired, is there any like pre-training stuff? Because I feel like it would kind of be a lot to take in. Are there trainings that I would be able to do?
Yeah, there's definitely, well, like, you know, just like people who intern or try to like learn the skills, we definitely, I think, put you through that, like learning. I mean, we expect you to like, you know, bachelor's degree, have that education and have like your experience you were talking about, but it also, you know, we know that it's a whole different work field and environment, so we would definitely want you to learn the right way and in a way that is comfortable for you. So definitely there would be training and things that we'd want you to know, and especially like where the Nike brand is and the label of it and what it stands for and stuff like that. So yeah.
Awesome.
I think that is about all the questions I have for you today. But thank you for interviewing with us. We appreciate it. I don't know if it's we're like